Hello and welcome back to a year of miracles. We are on lesson 35. So, lesson 35 says, my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. Mm. This is interesting because this is very interesting because we are taught about sinning, made to feel bad for everything that we do. Um, And again, it's all stories, distortions, illusions of the ego to keep you trapped away from your true nature. From my understanding, you know, God create our universe doesn't judge. It's only the ego that judges, right? So this lesson is about recognizing your true nature, not as a small, limited individual, but as part of something much greater. It teaches that your mind is connected to God, creator, universe, source, infinite intelligence, whatever you say, meaning you are inherently holy, worthy, and powerful at all moments. All moments, because you are connected to that. Even when you don't think you are, you are. Just the ego that's not allowing you to see that connection, but you can choose to connect to it and understand that truth in any single moment. Your mind, as we said, is not separate from God. Um, you are holy because that's your true identity, your true nature. And holiness is not about being perfect in the worldly sense, it's about recognizing your divine nature. You don't earn holiness; you're born with it. It's who you are. So when you say people say abundance is your birthright. It's your abundance is your birthright because abundance is your true nature. There is infinite is our true nature. There are no limitations. Limitations are only created by the mind. So when we say your only limitation is you, it's because you are the only person that is in your own mind. Um, and so it's really about this again, is really about identifying where you limit yourself and understanding that you have a choice to see beyond your own limitations and to connect to the God infinite intelligence, um, instead of your, what I say, puny perspective of what is. I watched a video and this guy always refers to puny perspective, which I love. Like, let's have fun with this. Let's laugh at ourselves. Let's joke. Our perspective is puny. We only see like one puzzle piece. There is a greater plan beyond what you can comprehend with your limited perspective. Therefore, it's puny. And so when you feel yourself, judging your experiences or judging others, like laugh at it. Be like, well, that's just my puny perspective. I get to see things beyond what they are now because I'm part of the infinite, the creator of all that is. I'm very holy. Holy. For me, the word, I don't know about anyone else, but for me, the word holy felt like there was a little bit of a cognitive dissonance. And I think that was because we are given an illusion of what holy is. Like, holy is someone that doesn't swear, doesn't drink, doesn't do this, doesn't do that. They don't sin, they like go to church and blah, blah, blah. But again, these are all perspectives and illusions that aren't really a true representation of what the word holy is, right? So I invite you, if it feels like there's a disconnect, to remove the distortions of the meaning that you have given the word holy.
Yeah. You know, we actually started talking about this. My mind is a part of God's in previous lessons. I forgot that we hadn't done this lesson yet, so I was using it in previous lessons. So this is great. So if any of the previous lessons you're like, I don't understand, this is the part where you get to understand. My mind is a part of God's. So, well, this isn't like the ultimate truth. One way that you can look at it is like, I know Sammy's touched on this already, but I'm just going to repeat and say through my words. You can see it as that white light that's coming through. That's God's mind. Your mind is a part of God's mind. That infinite that's coming from everywhere and it's flowing through all of us. So our mind arises within God's mind, right? Which is our true nature, actually. Your mind arises within God's mind. So the reason this is so important is because if if you, and the book talks about this, if you are a part of God's mind and you are broken or can possibly sin or are damaged or wrong or are bad, then God, part of God would have to be broken, wrong, damaged, a sinner, bad. Therefore, you cannot be any of those things. Those are just false illusions and false beliefs and false judgments. You are whole, you are perfect, you are love, peace, joy, abundance, all of that. But if just by deducing, if I were supposedly this broken little sinful human being, but I'm a part of God, then wouldn't that mean, and you can even look at it like source. Source means the source of everything. Then wouldn't that mean that there's a part of God or source that has to be broken? Yeah. And we know that that's not true. So, or we can tap in and start to learn that that's not true, start to see that that's not true. Maybe you don't know that's not true yet, but we can start opening ourselves to the fact that that's not true. And so therefore you must be whole, perfect, untouched, undamaged, no sins, etc. Recognizing your true nature as one with God's helps you release false beliefs about the world, judgments about yourself, and eventually judgments about others. Because remember, all arises within you. All you see is a projection coming from within you. You think you are a part of this world because you believe you are in this world. We're starting to realize that we are not in this world. We are projecting this world. We are perceiving this world. In other words, you can say that we are creating this world. And your ego wants to protect this little image of the world because you believe that you are in it. And therefore, you believe that it is your identity. And therefore, you believe that you want it. That's why it can be hard to let go of that and accept that you are actually God expressing itself as a human. So I used the example in a previous lesson of the God being the gem and you are experiencing one facet of the gem. I prefer to look at it like that as opposed to like a lot some people use the analogy of like the cells in a body because they're like individual cells, but the facet, it's not an individual piece, it's just a facet. So you're having this unique experience as this human in this unique apparent time and space, not real time and space, but apparent time and space. So that's the unique facet, but you remain as the gem experiencing one facet. Um, what you see while you believe you are a part of the illusion is through the eyes of the illusion. This is important. What you see while you believe that you are the illusion. So believing I am this limited human being, while believing I am this sinful, broken human, is through the eyes of the illusion. But illusions can't see. All they can do is generate more illusion, repeat more illusion. So true seeing comes from realizing that you are that facet. My mind is a part of God's, and I am very holy. Another little note I made, which is actually a quote from the book. So it says, illusions have no direction in reality because illusions are not, they are merely not true. Illusions aren't true. Illusions are illusions. They're projections. It's the image of a character on a screen, and you remain as the screen the entire time. You are not the character on the screen, although you're having the experience as the character. Another example, I'm just going to pop it in here because it's relevant. This comes from a non-duality teacher that some of you may have heard of or have listened to, or at least know the name of, and it's Rupert Spira. He uses a great analogy of he uses a play he uses King Lear. So there's this play of King Lear, and the actor is, I don't know what the name he uses, but whatever. There's an actor, John, and he's playing King Lear in this play. Now, when he's playing King Lear, he believes himself to be, he starts taking on the identity of King Lear. He believes that like all these things happened, he believes that he has this wife, that all the events in the play happened. But he never stopped being John. So the actor. So imagine that you're a god pretending to be the character. Now when John plays King Lear, does anything extra come into being? Does a King Lear appear? Or is it just a make-believe identity that's been taken on in the play as the character of King Lear? This is why I love this analogy because you could think, like a lot of people say, well, yeah, but there is this character here, but nothing has been added or taken away from John to become King Lear other than a story.
That is so good. And this is where you'll hear main character energy come from. People say get you like play the main character in your movie. That's all you're doing. You are becoming the main character by understanding your godlike nature, playing the role of Samantha having this human experience, Karina having this human experience.
Yeah. And so we all are the infinite beings or God taking on the role, just like John takes on the role of King Lear as Samantha. So it's one actor, God, playing infinite characters. And I say infinite because we won't get into that. But I say infinite characters, but you can say 8 billion characters, however you want to frame it. But we are one actor playing infinite characters, having these experiences. And so it's no different than that play of John taking on the identity of King Lear, but King Lear doesn't exist separate from John. You do not exist separate from the infinite being slash God. Okay. So the way to apply this lesson is we're going to have a longer exercise and a shorter exercise. The longer practice periods are going to do 3 times today for 5 minutes apiece. Again, morning, evening, and then somewhere in the middle of the day when there is time and space for you to do it. And you're going to, one, repeat the idea. My mind is a part of God's. I am very holy. You're going to then close your eyes, and then you're going to find all identifications that you have taken on, good or bad. Some examples given in the book is I see myself as imposed on. I see myself as depressed. I see myself as failing. I see myself as endangered. I see myself as helpless. I see myself as victorious. I see myself as losing out. I see myself as charitable. I see myself as virtuous. So again, I see myself as beautiful. I see myself as ugly. I see myself as selfish. I see myself as a bitch. I see myself as kind. I see myself as nice. I see myself, whatever, anything, any identity you've taken on, even like you can even use like I see myself as half Mexican because I'm half Mexican, et cetera, et cetera. So find all identifications, good or bad, that arise. And remember that all of them, we were using all of them, the good, the bad, anything that arises, because all of them are equally unreal because you do not look at yourself through the eyes of holiness yet. They're all, at this point, putting on the costume of the character instead of seeing yourself as the actor, which is infinite being God. Okay, after you do your practice period, after the 5 minutes, you end the practice period with, but my mind is a part of God's. I am very holy. If for some reason during that 5 minute practice you're having trouble finding things, don't try to like force it or force things. Just start repeating the idea effortlessly until something arises. My mind is a part of God's. I am very holy. And then for the practice periods, again, do it as often as possible and choose one attribute that's arising in the moment currently and apply the idea. So let's say I'm applying it and it's like, I am, can't think of any. I am, I was gonna say I'm tired. That keeps wanting to come up because that's how I'm feeling. But an identity. So I am a teacher. Okay, I'm a teacher. And then I can apply that. Okay. So And again, good or bad, it doesn't matter. So that's it for me.
Amazing. Do you know what? When you were talking, when you said holy and holiness, all I can picture is whole, as in the whole. So it's holiness is wholeness. I was like, oh my goodness, why didn't that resonate before? But I think because I gave up the idea that I had to understand what holiness was based on my limited perspective, the new perspective came in. So divine. So that might resonate with you, it might not. But for me, seeing the word holiness, whole, we are whole, connected to the whole. Okay, well, that was lesson 35. And we will see you tomorrow for lesson 36.